Hello everyone and welcome back to round 12 of season 6 of our F124 driver career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Belgian Grand Prix. If you missed out on the video that went live a couple of days ago from Silverstone, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. And of course, also, if you missed out on the video that went live yesterday with the start of our F1 2002 career, I would highly recommend going out and checking that one as well. We've had quite a few interesting races going on, and obviously all the different series as well on the channel in recent weeks. And a massive thank you to everybody that has supported us, obviously throughout Formula 1's winter break as well there. But yeah, Silverstone last weekend, we saw George Russell cause chaos, and it means for the first time ever, we lead the World Championship as a Haas driver inside this game, which I'm pretty happy with right now. Admittedly, there's 1 point in it between myself and my former teammate Charles Leclerc at the moment. Fernando Alonso is in third ahead of Russell and Oscar Piastri. And if you have a look, George Russell has not scored a point in the last 3 Grand Prix after he won 3 of the first 5 races this year. It has been a real kind of downturn in performance for him. On the contrary to that, we've won 3 of the last 4 Grand Prix. And Charles Leclerc, well, he's just been brutally consistent last weekend through no fault of his own. The first time he hasn't scored points throughout this season up to now. Of course, if you're new around here, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel as well. We're trying to hit 140,000 subs. And if you enjoy the content and want to help support us just a little bit more, for £1 a month, you can get access to all of these videos early, your name mentioned at the start, and even hopefully some exclusive content coming in the not too distant future as well. But yeah, without further ado then, let's head into qualifying here at the best track in Formula 1.
Welcome to the behemoth that they value so highly. This is Spa, it's high speed, it is really challenging. We have elevation, we have dramatic corners, and we have one driver in a few moments' time who will take pole position.
Well, the camera there panning to us as he talked about trying to claim pole position, so let's wait and see whether we can live up to Alex Jake's expectations. Still haven't taken a pole this season. That last time out at Silverstone, I think this has been the closest we've been all year up to this point. So maybe, just maybe this weekend, we can try and make the difference. I'm expecting the Ferrari over the next couple of races to be very, very quick. Oscar Piastri, of course, almost won the Italian Grand Prix last year, despite the fact Ferrari were a much less competitive team than what they currently are inside this series. So yeah, they'll be looking, you know, for that team really, he needs to have a good couple of results, get a bit closer to the top 2 in the championship, and then you never know what might happen inside those final 3 races. Like I said, it's a really odd season the way I've set up this calendar. You know, we're almost into the final quarter, and we're only at the Belgian Grand Prix, which is normally barely over halfway through the season inside F124, so that is not the line down through Pouhon there. We're going to lose a little bit of time on the exit because of that one. But yeah, it has been a really kind of up and down campaign so far as George Russell, a man we've spoke about so much on Saturday still all year, looking like he could be able to try and claim yet another pole position this season then. But as we power our way then back up in towards the final few corners, Oscar Piastri there still right in with it. We are currently in P3. If we keep trying to drain the battery as we make our way up through Blanchimont, it is going to be very close. Just a couple of corners to go. Make sure you attack the curbs through the first part, avoid the wheel spin through the second though. And as we power down towards the line, we might have just snatched this away. Yes, we have. It is P1. Well, by less than 1/10 of a second on the longest track on the calendar, we were able to achieve a 1 minute 39.9 lap time here. I think that might be the first time I've gone sub 140 around this circuit. The Haas car just felt really good. And I mean, we got a bit lucky through the final chicane as well. But, you know, that's the luck of the draw sometimes. You have to take the gambles and hope that it pays dividends there. Charles Leclerc will only line up P5, but usually his race pace has been better than his qualifying pace. Not sure what to make of Sergio Perez there. 6 tenths away from Verstappen is fairly normal, but he will line up between the kick Saubers.
It's the Belgian Grand Prix, the site of the maiden victory of the Jordan team in 1998. The venue that Michael Schumacher made his debut in Formula 1. There is so much history here amongst the beautiful nature. We are about to go racing through the Ardenne forest, 4.3 miles of long straights, fast corners and huge elevation changes. Turn 1 at La Source moves straight into Eau Rouge, eventually climbing into Radion. They are corner names to get the heart pumping. It's old school and we adore it. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Firestarter lines up on pole position and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Norris, Leclerc, Stroll, Fittipaldi, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Verstappen, Behrman, Albon, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricciardo, Iwasa, Perez, Vesti and Zhou Guanyu. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, we're in a good, solid position for the Constructors' title, which will mean so much to everybody here in this team. There's just 3 races to go, so we need some good, solid results.
Well, everything Mark just said there was wrong. I think we're 5th overall in the Constructors' Championship right now, and there's 5 races to go, if you include this one. So that's not really good that our race engineer can't count. So hopefully that's not going to cause too many problems as we make our way through the GP. But yes, sunny skies then here in the Ardenne. Exactly what we like to see, ready for this race. 22 laps around the longest and wildest Formula 1 track. Not very long before the lights are out though, and we have not responded very well. Oscar Piastri might have only lined up P2 on the grid, but he will immediately take the lead of the Grand Prix there as Charles Leclerc, clearly sensing a little bit of desperation, will dive bomb both McLaren cars in towards turn 1, but will make it work and will come out up in P3 there. So suddenly, yeah, I believe obviously your top 2 in the championship there up inside your top 3. Oscar Piastri as well, not a million miles away, and he will be looking to try and obviously claim victory this afternoon. For how much I love Spa, it has often not been a track that has suited us so far inside F1 24. We've often been a little bit unlucky in Grand Prix as well. Now, I believe we have taken a couple of wins though here still, but obviously last season, chaos on lap 1. We accidentally went 4 wide with both Ferraris and I believe Esteban Ocon. That didn't work out for me. We picked up some damage. And then obviously if you watch the My Team career mode over on Matsumoto 2 gameplay as well, last season I completely took out a Sauber car, which was not my finest moment inside F1 24, but as we wind our way though down through the bottom of the circuit, down through Fagnes and into Stavolo, yeah, I'm happy just to sit, you know, we're in an okay spot right at this moment. Well, one thing I really want to know for future F1 games, of course, if EA and Coders have still got the license for them, what will happen when Spa goes on to its rotational deal? Will it be in one game and then not in the next F1 game? Will it be a bit like Portugal or France, that kind of was just left in the game for a couple of extra years? It wouldn't surprise me, obviously, if this is a big if, obviously Coders have still got, you know, the exclusive rights to it. Could it be that it's just in every game, and then like from Season 2 and Career Modes, you can just add Spa to the calendar? I think that would be pretty cool to be able to do. And obviously, if we get more tracks on rotational basis, could we end up with an F1 game with like 30 circuits in it, where obviously you've got a few that you can just cycle in and out between different seasons? All questions that we hope obviously will be answered in due course. But at the moment, though, we're just sitting behind Oscar Piastri, just sussing out where he's quick, where he isn't around this circuit. But I want to try and start attacking the Australian pretty soon, if we can do. Race pace, though, looking very, very good right now. We've done 2 laps under the 1 minute 43 barrier. That's pretty mad when you think the real-life lap record, I think, is like a 1:41.7. We're barely a second away from that lap time. And I think now, as we start lap 4, as we make our way up past the grandstand, this time we're going to open up the ERS as we try and get the power down out onto the Kemmel straight. Whoa! What is that?
Hey, mate.
How many times did the AI do this on this game?
Do your best to get past and get on with the race. Great stuff, mate. You hit the target well there. Nice one. There's a long way to go in this race, though, so keep your head down.
I mean, it just feels like they constantly move around in front of you, like going out onto a straight or something like that, and kind of half defend. And, I mean, we had no time to respond to that, and we've gone and lost half our wing. Well, I'm sure when Editor Roll goes back to edit this one, he'll tell me. I'm sure there'll be a meme somewhere if that was completely my own fault as we make our way through. But, yeah, Oscar Piastri, though, trying to look for a move up and towards Blanchimont. I'm just going to try and return the favour to him. I'm going to swing really defensive, and that might actually give Leclerc a bit of an opportunity there. So I think, yeah, well, Charles Leclerc now, our big championship rival, up into P1. There's just no point of staying out there with a damaged wing at this stage of the Grand Prix. I'm hoping... Oh, please say they're changing it. Please say they're changing it. If they're not changing the wing, we are in a terrible, terrible situation here. They're not changing the wing! How are they not changing the wing?
Okay, mate, that's it. Go, go, go. That was a fantastic stop. Faster than we were expecting. Okay,
oh,
stay
for
clear
God's
of the white line
sake.
on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Well, I thought we'd done alright at the start of this one, but clearly not. Team haven't opted to change the wing. I mean, it's yellow damage. It's definitely costing us. How can they not kind of work that out at the end? Like, I mean, Mark can't even count laps on this game anymore. And, well, once again, it looks like Belgium, just as a race, just is not going to go our way. It's so annoying. Oh, we've got yellows. We've got yellows. That could be handy. Oh, it's Fred Vesti. Fred Vesti then out of the Grand Prix very early on. So we got to watch that one right in front of us there. And his teammate Zhou Guanyu did a good job to try to avoid that. As we make our way back in then, I think I've told the team, yeah, this time round, that we are definitely changing the front wing on the car. I mean, a safety car then would have been perfect for us. But that isn't going to happen. Second time in 2 laps then into the pit lane here. So, yeah, we're really going to have our work cut out throughout the rest of the GP. I was hoping we'd be out ahead of Yuma Iwasa. But I don't think that's going to happen. As come on, get on with it. 7.6. That could have been worse.
There, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
Well, I think Iwasa lost his front wing on lap 1, and that's why he's still out behind me there. So, yeah, it must have been a pretty disappointing start to the Grand Prix for him. Maybe his plan now is obviously just try and hang on to our gearbox throughout the rest of the afternoon. I mean, immediately he's going to go for it round or outside. I mean, how quick is that V-carb in a straight line? V-car might be quick in a straight line, but it took me about 2 corners to realise he's terrible through the turns. So, a bit of an aggressive move back down the inside of Iwasa. But yeah, I think I know which car's going to be faster. Oh, there we go. We're starting to see cars peeling into the pit lane then. So we are going to be up ahead of at least a few people here. I mean, the fact we've pulled almost 15 seconds on Iwasa since we boxed, I think we should be pretty happy with.
Nice work. Still a long way to go, though.
So I believe the Williams were around the bottom of the top 10 before they dived in. So we're ahead of Esteban Ocon here. We're behind Alonso and Max Verstappen. So yeah, we're still a little way behind the likes of Oscar Piastri as well. I can see him and one of the McLaren cars just coming up to the end of the Kemmel Straight. But we've got to be only about 8-9 seconds away. Well, pretty much every other car then into the pit lane. So we're going to have a better idea of where we're going to be outrunning. I think we should be inside the top 10, but I think it will definitely still be the lower end of the points as of right now, as there is Tsunoda, there is Ollie Behrman, and even our teammate Pierre Gasly. Just trying to watch on the minimap. I think was out in a little bit of no man's land for a little while here. Fittipaldi then has come out just in front of me, so we are down in 9th place then, as we'll give Gasly the DRS up the Kemmel Straight as well. You know, we've got to try and work together now over these next few laps to close back in on some of those cars in front. So there goes Pierre. I mean, they're definitely battling in front. This works out nicely for us. Well, I wish the AI did use their battery a bit more sparingly. I wonder if there's like an AI element they could add to it in the future, where if they're like 1.2 seconds back from a car, they try and just use a little bit more to make sure they get the DRS here. But you just see inside the top 10, everybody just starting to string out a little bit in places. We should, if we can get the slingshot on Pierre this time round, be able to bring us both inside the range of Fittipaldi. But you can see how far back we are. By the time we make it out onto the Kemmel Straight, Pierre will go defensive. We will get round his outside.
So please, let's protect it and bring the car home.
Yeah, I'd rather not be reminded of that from earlier on in the afternoon, Mark. But yeah, it's going to be so difficult. I mean, even now, the gap between Fittipaldi and Alonso is up over 2 seconds. Well, let's see if we can try and use Fittipaldi then to slingshot just a bit closer to Alonso and Max Verstappen. I'm looking at that gaggle of cars just in front, battling for the final podium place and thinking, could we maybe get to them by the end of the afternoon?
Gap ahead, please. 1.9 seconds.
I'm sure Enzo would have been told, try and hold us back, help out Oscar Piastri in the bigger picture. But yeah, nothing you could really do with the straight line speed. Well, the medium compound tyre has definitely worked on this car much better than I ever thought it would. And I think, you know, it would have been a very different story had we obviously only had to pit the once. We would be out in front, I would imagine, but we'd probably be losing bags of time to those cars closing in behind. But there we go, this time round, Verstappen and Alonso side by side. We almost make it 3 wide on the exit of the corner there, as we've got 3 world champions, 3 multi-world champions battling it out. Admittedly, not in the position any of us would want, but come on, we've got to find a way through if we want to try and challenge that next train of 3 cars up the road. McLaren finally look like they could be on for a resurgent weekend. Well, I've really tried to charge up the battery pack there, something Alonso hasn't done. Just see him trying to save some energy as we make our way out into the Kemmel Straight then, and let's see what speed we got this time round. 230 miles an hour almost, as we are once again going to go 3 wide. Round the outside of Verstappen, who's going to get Ricciardo zonted. Round the outside of Alonso as well. And that is probably the best carbon copy of the 2001 race here, with Häkkinen making that move on Michael Schumacher. At least I think it was 2001. Again, F124, the slipstream, the DRS, they're so overpowered, but when they give you moments like that, it can be so much fun. Well, 2 laps to go then, and we are still trying to close in the gap on Sir Lance Stroll here as we try and get the power down out of the first couple of corners. I'm going to use all the battery now just to make sure that we get that DRS. The free time is worth it for obviously the little bit of straight line speed that we'll lose as we make our way up the Kemmel Straight for the penultimate time. Leclerc, though, he's now trying to have a look for a move. Which McLaren is it alongside him? It's Lando Norris. So George Russell, probably the McLaren that is still in with a shot of the World Championship there, is fighting with Oscar Piastri right at the front of the order. But now, our main title rival, Charles Leclerc, is back up into P3. We have not given up at any point this afternoon, and I do not want to lose the World Championship lead as soon as we've gained it. Well, 1 more lap to go then, and I mean, Norris is still practically pushing Leclerc along. I'm sure Russell in the other McLaren is doing the same thing in the battle for the win. Ever since our incident, Oscar Piastri has absolutely dominated at the front of the order here, but 1 more lap to go then. We have basically got an entire charge of battery, and if we don't need to use it all up the Kemmel Straight, and I'm certainly not going to, we're going to have to use quite a bit of it though anyway, just try and make sure that we stay close and try and navigate Lance Stroll here, as I think Norris surely will get the run on Charles Leclerc. He doesn't look like he's got enough straight line speed. Leclerc's going to swing defensive. Norris has to cut back in. Lance Stroll thinks about trying to look back past myself. We've got a 4-way battle on the last lap of the Grand Prix here, but will there be any other opportunity for Lando Norris? I know we can get a run up from Stavolo in towards the bus stop chicane there, but how good will that run be? Because our tyres are practically giving up. Oscar Piastri at the front of the field, he has somehow been able to hold off George Russell up that DRS straight as well, so I think McLaren really struggling with top end speed here, which might really come back to haunt them on the last lap of this GP. But as we try and put the power down through Fagnes, we've got our main title rival Charles Leclerc just in front after the incident on lap 4, lap 5. I never thought we would be back fighting up towards the front of the order here. We are just draining the battery though as we make our way up towards Blanchimont, but look at the speed we've got. To the outside of Lando Norris, to the outside of Charles Leclerc as well. We're going to be wheel to wheel with our main championship rival there. Leclerc will try and squeeze me out. There's a little bit of contact. Leclerc will go off the road, hang on to the position. It is P4.
Heading to the top step of the podium one more time, Oscar Piastri takes the victory.
Well, it all came good in the end for them, but it wasn't an easy start. Not the most straightforward of days, but I think it shows great strength in an athlete as a driver when you can overcome a day like this and walk away still with a victory.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today and a stunning win for Ferrari.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Belgian Grand Prix, and Oscar Piastri is going to take victory by just 0.3 of a second ahead of a resurgent George Russell. Charles Leclerc, I mean, we were always going to come together by the end of the GP, but our former Ferrari teammate pips us at the final corner to claim that last podium place, and we came into this weekend with a 1-point advantage. We're going to leave it with a 1-point deficit, but honestly, considering everything that happened, I think we should be pretty happy with that result. Norris in 5th ahead of both Aston Martins. Verstappen beats out Gasly and Enzo Fittipaldi, meaning that we only see 6 teams score points this weekend there, but always nice when we can get both Haas cars into the points. Only Fred Vesti that failed to see the checkered flag. Having a look then at our championship, well, it does mean, yeah, 1-point gap now in Leclerc's favour, but Oscar Piastri, George Russell both within a race victory away. Fernando Alonso only 29 points back, but you'd have to think the likes of Verstappen and Norris probably, unless they can really dominate these last few races, might just be a little bit too far away to really mount a challenge between now and the end of the campaign there. Constructors-wise, we hang on. We'll actually be opening up the gap quite extensively over Red Bull as well. Mercedes still with a 16-point lead over McLaren and a 26-point lead over Aston Martin, so that could still get very close by the end of the year as well. How great would it be if we could still somehow end up ahead of Ferrari come the end of the season? But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready for the Italian Grand Prix.